I just started dating a girl about a month ago, but I have a problem. Her birthday is in 2 weeks, and I can't figure out what to get her. Chelsea and I met at a local arts supply shop. Painting is my job, though it pays like a hobby, and I was looking to pick up a fresh canvas after trashing my latest masterpiece. I still remember what aisle she was in when we met, number 12, and how she bumped into me as I passed, causing me to drop my wallet. "Nathan," she said with a smile as my heart stopped, reading my name off my license that had fallen out. "You'll have to excuse me. I'm too clumsy." "Nathan, that really is a sweet name. Can't say I've come by one of those in a while." It's all right," I stammered, blushing, as she handed back the wallet. "No problem, really. None at all. My fault." Damn, I thought. I'm blubbering on. But I couldn't help it. The girl smiling at me was one of the most beautiful I had ever seen. There was a glint to her eye, a spark of life that was typically eroded from my artists by their faltering careers, and her hair swept across her brow in a way both daring and enticing. She wore a skirt whose length demanded more of my attention, and the low cut on her shirt made it difficult for me to keep my own eyes on her face. She was too attractive to have business talking to me, let alone to apologize. And certainly, she was too pretty for the next sentence that left her mouth, one coupled with a smile that raised the corner of it. "Oh no, it's my fault entirely. Please, I'll make it up to you. Could I buy you coffee?" 10 minutes later, we were at Starbucks, though it felt like a dream. This type of thing never happens to me. I don't have a livable wage, nor am I particularly attractive. But there she was, leaning across the table, her fingers glancing across mine as she became excited, causing adrenaline to shoot into my bloodstream. But that was only the first date, followed by a second and a third, each with more interest. And I can't figure out why the hell someone like her would be interested in someone like me. Hell, she's amazing. The sex is amazing, and for the first time in my life, I'm realizing that love itself is amazing. "Welcome to my apartment," she said, the first time I came for dinner, swinging the door open on the second knock as if she had been waiting. She had made stew, and damn, it was good. Hearty in the way that only experienced chefs can make it. Settling her table, I noticed the centerpiece, 9 china cups, all bright white, each on a red coaster. "I hope you don't mind that I reheated the stew. I didn't have time to cook it from scratch." "It's great, really, and I like your decoration," I said, gesturing at the cups, and she beamed. "Oh, yes, I love my china. Each one is unique, you know. And I do enjoy pottery, so I like to think they complement my personality. They're bone china, you know." "What, exactly?" "You know, bone china. It's the only way to give them that shine and color. Super neat history behind that. It was developed to accompany the meat industry a few hundred years ago, using ground-up cattle bones. I don't believe in waste, so it's quite thrifty of an invention, too. I get one every birthday as a gift." "Interesting," I said, chewing on the lumps in my stew. "Just like how they crush beetles to make red dye." "Exactly like that," she said with a smile, and walked over to a cupboard. "Tea?" "Sure," I answered, and she removed 2 tea bags from a top shelf. "You'll like this one, I think. Personally, I'm particular about mine, and I have a pretty specific taste. It's a little old, though. The bod was a gift on my last birthday." "Oh, I don't try tea much." No problem," she answered. "It's my preference, but you should try it." After finishing the tea, which I thought tasted somewhat ashy and gritty, we spent the rest of that night in her bedroom. Ever since, I've been worried. Her birthday is coming soon, and by the sound of it, she's used to receiving gifts, and I don't know what to get her. "What would you like for your birthday?" I asked her, and she smiled. "I'd love a new piece of china for my collection, a hot meal, and some fresh tea," she answered, but refused to say more when I inquired after brands. So when she fell asleep, I looked around her apartment, and I found her personal scrapbook, which was divided into 9 different sections. I opened the first and started to read. Mike was written on the divider by a feminine hand, and my stomach clenched as I saw him. She had been younger then, but I could tell she loved him. There were pictures of Mike kissing her and them hugging, and I suspected he looked better than me as well. According to the date, that was 9 years ago, so I flipped to the next section. Jared. He was taller than I was, I realized as I flushed, and had a wider smile. Then there was Peter and Mark and all the others, each one lasting for a year. The second to last picture was the same for each, them smiling over a birthday cake. And then the last picture was the same as well, a picture of their gift. Always a china cup, always tea, always a warm meal. Maybe she'll dump me on her birthday, I thought. Maybe this is just some game she plays on all her boyfriends. But then I flipped to our section at the end of the book, and my heart warmed. She had pictures of us together, and underneath there was the ripped-out page of a notebook, dated yesterday. Tomorrow, I'll introduce Nathan to Bill and Caesar, it read in her handwriting, and I frowned. Bill and Caesar were the last 2 boyfriends that she had in her scrapbook, and she hadn't mentioned them at dinner. Maybe she had thought better of the idea. I certainly had no desire to meet them. Anyways, I've decided to outdo her past boyfriends, and I looked at her china. Each one was engraved with one of the names under the bottom, and the company name of Custom Pottery Solutions was stamped underneath. On research, if you provided the materials, they would shape and fire any selection of pottery. And then there was the tea. There were 9 boxes of that as well in her cupboard, each of the bags individually wrapped by hand and labeled with an X's name. I couldn't find a company on them though, so I'll have to find something on my own. After looking in the freezer, I was somewhat grossed out by the meal idea. Wrapped in cellophane, there were 9 frozen meals, each also labeled. I closed the freezer without looking too closely, and then I went back to bed with her, silently entering the room. Apparently, Chelsea has attachment issues. Baggage. We can get through that together, though. But first, I need to find her some gifts, and I'm convinced there'll be some bone china, ashy tea, and a hot meal. Well, unless you have any ideas. For more creepy tales by this author, check out his book, Eden's Eye.